The Angiulo brothers, Italian, modifier letter vertical line and Latin small letter Angiulo, were the leading Italian-American crime group from Boston's North End, during the late 1960s until the mid-1980s. Also, the street crew extended into East Boston, Roxbury, Waltham, Newton, Watertown, parts of Revere, and all other predominantly Italian-American neighborhoods in eastern Massachusetts. Their criminal organization was dubbed "In Town" because one had to go into town to visit the Angiulo brothers. As made men in the patriarchal crime family, they were placed in control of the racketeering throughout Massachusetts, until Irish mob groups such as the Winter Hill Gang and the Charlestown Mob decided to run the rackets in their own neighborhoods. During this time, Winter Hill Gang members Whitey Bulger and Stephen Flemmi were informing on their Italian mob colleagues by allowing the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI) to bug their headquarters during the early 1980s. The brothers were Antonio, Donato, Francesco, Gennaro, Michele, Niccolo, and James Angiulo. They were born in North End, Boston, to Italian immigrants Cesare and Giovannina, née Fimiani Angiulo. Brothers. Niccolo Angiulo Vitor Niccolo Nick Angiulo was the oldest of his siblings. He was born on March 4, 1916. He grew up with younger sister, Stella Orland Ella, and his brothers. He married Janet Vincenza Pixini Angiulo and they had two daughters, Bernadetta Angels and Nicole Angiulo. He was alleged consigliere of the organization and was indicted in 1983 with his brothers Gennaro, Donato, Francesco, Donato, but he never went to trial because of illness. He died on September 13, 1987, from a kidney ailment, in St. Elizabeth's Hospital in Boston. Gennaro Angiulo Gennaro Joseph Jerry Angiulo was born on March 20, 1919. Angiulo enlisted in the U.S. Navy at the beginning of World War II and served 4 years in the Pacific Theater. He achieved the rank of Chief Boatswain's Mate. Upon completion of his service to the United States, he moved back to the North End of Boston. The FBI had been after him since the early 1960s. With the help of the FBI's own criminal informants James Whitey Bulger and Stephen, the rifleman Flemmi, they were able to gain a great deal of incriminating information regarding Angiulo's racketeering operations. The FBI was able to successfully plant listening devices in a bar he owned on Tremont Street. He was arrested September 19, 1983, at his North End hangout, then convicted 3 years later on racketeering charges. He was granted parole and was released from federal prison on September 10, 2007. He died from kidney failure at Massachusetts General Hospital on August 29, 2009. He married Barbara Lombard and they had 3 children, Jason Brian, Gennaro J., and Barbara J. Angiulo. Francesco Angiulo Francesco J. Frank Angiulo, also known as Frankie the Cat, was born on January 13, 1921. He served in the Merchant Marines in World War II and he was personally arrested by FBI agent John Connolly in 1983. He did not marry, and was a longtime companion of Lori Namo. Angiulo spent 14 years in prison because of racketeering and returned home in 2000. He died on May 30, 2015, at Massachusetts General Hospital due to heart failure. Donato Angiulo Donato F. Danny Angiulo, also known as Laughing Fox, was born on March 21, 1923. In 1956, he married Marguerite Margot McMahon Angiulo, from which he had a son, Cesare Angiulo, and a daughter, Nina M. Angiulo Silk. He was freed from federal prison in 1997, after serving 11 years, and returned to his Medford home. He died on May 3, 2009, at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center after heart failure. Antonio Angiulo Antonio R. Angiulo was born on July 4, 1925. He was the husband of Dorothy M. Angiulo. He died on August 4, 1976. Michele Angiulo. Mike Angiulo was born on July 20, 1927. In 1952 he married Concetta E. Connie de Lupo, and became the father of Michael J. and Joseph M. Angiulo. He served 3 years in prison for gambling and died on November 26, 2006. James William Angiulo, also known as Jimmy Jones, was born on December 22, 1939. He was happily married to Dorothea Ginger Angiulo. Together they had 6 children: James William Angiulo Jr., Gina Angiulo, Frank Angiulo, Renee Angiulo, Christine Angiulo, and Sandra Angiulo. He died on August 2, 2014, in Cape Coral, Florida, at 74 years old. References: O'Neill, Gerard, Lair, Dick, 1989. The Underboss: The Rise and Fall of a Mafia Family. Carr, Howie, 2011. Hitman: The Untold Story of Johnny Martirano, Whitey Bulger's enforcer and the most feared gangster in the underworld. New York: Tom Doherty Associates. ISBN 978-0-7653-32394. In Popular Culture in Black Mass, 2015, Gennaro Angiulo is portrayed by Bill Hames and Michele Angiulo is mentioned by John Connolly, portrayed by Joel Edgerton, when he says, "I saw Mikey Angiulo, Bobby Carozza, and one Vincent the Animal, Ferraro all go inside." External links: former Boston mob boss Jerry Angiulo dead at 90. Boston Herald. August 29, 2009. Murphy, Shelley, June 1, 2015. Frank Angiulo's death marks end of North End mob era. The Boston Globe. Retrieved June 2, 2015. Bob Boston, July 26, 2018. Niccolo Angiulo. Find a Grave. Retrieved March 9, 2020. Gibney, John, August 31, 2009. Gennaro Angiulo. Find a Grave. Retrieved March 9, 2020. Bob Boston, July 26, 2018. Francesco Angiulo. Find a Grave. Retrieved March 9, 2020. Bob Boston, July 26, 2018. Donato Angiulo. Find a Grave. Retrieved March 9, 2020. Bob Boston, July 26, 2018. Antonio Angiulo. Find a Grave. Retrieved March 9, 2020. Malvone, Lenny, December 1, 2006. Michele Angiulo. Find a Grave. Retrieved March 9, 2020.